going to happen when we see Bivol and Artur Beterbiev face off against each other? What's the biggest thing to look out for? And that thing is essentially the matchup between simplistic destruction and all-around technical wizardry. Artur Beterbiev. This is a fight that's looking to see two people who draw from each other stylistically, while at the same time are worlds apart from each other in how they fight. How are they similar? They're similar in the fact that they both fight in a style that dictates distance management as the ultimate goal. Both of these people, when they're most deadly in their offensive game, both throw when they are at optimal range. Again, one of the few fighters in the world today who don't smother their punches. We saw it with Beterbiev versus, again, just now with Callum Smith. We saw it with Bivol versus Canelo. We saw it with Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur. They don't throw when it's not necessary, and when they are in range, they maximize, especially when you're on the ropes, by not allowing you to let up while throwing combinations where they are not only at the peak of their range and at the peak end of their shots, but also where they can keep the flow without putting themselves in danger in the process. Making so that you both can't attack nor defend from what they're trying to do. It's incredible. They'll throw combinations and they won't take a step forward. They'll get you to the ropes, cut off the angle, and then they'll stay stationary and they will throw shots. Only stepping maybe left to right when necessary. They both open up with sublime combinations, head and to the body, and then they reset and continue that process. It's great. Offensively, both of these two are more similar than we want to believe with how they fight. Difference is, this is not disrespect, but Bivol is a better technical boxer. Use of his angles, footwork, all around the ability of using the ring. Bivol is better at. It's because that's just part of his ability. That's what makes him one of the best boxers in the world. It's what makes him on the pound-for-pound list right now. It's not disrespect. It's just that's what he is as a boxer. He's a boxer, a quintessential boxer. Has better footwork, has better use of slipping and defense, as well as being able to get in and out of range quicker and use angles that Beterbiev may not be able to do to make his offense even more diverse. That's just the truth of the matter. That's not disrespect to Beterbiev. That's just what Bivol's game style is, or game plan is, excuse me. Bivol has more in his arsenal. That's just the fact of the matter. Beterbiev doesn't have as much in his arsenal, but he's mastered what he does have to maximize his biggest weapon, which is pressure and power. And how does he do that? By keeping everything simple. That's what it is. Complex versus simple. 2 + 2 versus multiplication. Both of them are going to get you the same answer. It's just how you get there. Maybe math isn't the best example, but you understand what I'm saying. One is a complex, diverse skill set in Bivol versus a simplistic, yet incredibly effective, destructive skill set in Beterbiev. Because you can say what you want. That simplistic style has gotten him the highest knockout ratio of any boxer on the planet today, who is a champion. 100%, 20-0, 20 KOs. Nobody has seen the end of a fight. Quality opponents as well. And so can the complexity of Bivol outmaneuver and outbox the simplistic, destructive ways of Artur Beterbiev? This is as close to a 50-50 fight as you can call it. And both of their styles are incredibly effective and can counteract each other perfectly. Bivol's volume and angles can confuse Beterbiev and get it so that not only does he get up on points, but he evades shots, frustrates Beterbiev, confuses him, and to mitigate how much destructive pressure and power Beterbiev is actually able to incur in the fight. Or we can see Beterbiev negate the technical wizardry of Bivol and flip the script and cause Bivol to be the one not just getting pressure, but now he also can't get away. Similar to what we saw with Callum Smith. And then eventually, boom, get him out of there. Both styles can counteract each other. And I have a better breakdown of the fight later on. No, don't get it twisted. But the biggest difference is going to be that power more than anything. And I say that because What did we see when we saw Lyndon Arthur go up against Bivol? He was fighting to survive to some degree. Incredibly defensive. Wasn't really putting out as much offense at all. And Bivol was unabated in his ability to throw. And this was the most I had ever seen Dmitry Bivol sit down on his shots, throwing punches, full force, full power, with the intent of hurting and getting him out of there. This was the most offensively centric I've ever seen Bivol. Looking to get the KO, looking to fight against the stigma of being a quote-unquote boring fighter, all because he's so well-versed in the world of boxing and in what to do inside the ring that he can make a fight seem boring just because he can make it so his opponent can't hit him. And he's able to score at will. But because he doesn't score KOs left, right, and center, people say, it's boring, it's sleepy, even though it's not. It's incredibly beautiful to watch. He's a maestro, a painter, an artist. That's what Bivol is. But he was actively fighting against that stigma when he fought against Lyndon Arthur. And still he couldn't get him out of there. Lyndon Arthur's tough, like I said before, but still he couldn't get him out of there. Though the drastic difference in skill set, ability, talent, pedigree, still he couldn't get him out and knock him out. And because of that, that brought something to mind. This is a situation where we could see Bivol and his boxing ability potentially not be enough, because we could see that his power can't keep Beterbiev off him. And with Beterbiev being simple, the best way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. And if that's the case, and we see that Bivol's power isn't enough to get Beterbiev to at least respect him, to respect what's coming back at him, to respect what can potentially land against him, then we can see a situation where we see Beterbiev now just walking straight through. I'll eat some shots to get to you. I'll take punishment to get to you and land on you. And from that point, we could see the technical ability of Bivol then go out the window, because now it becomes ineffective. He will also be able to cut off the ring. He will also cut off exit angles. He will eat shots to get in range, and then when you try to escape, make it so that you only have one path. And that's to where he wants you to go. We could see Beterbiev essentially strip Bivol down to where you now have only at your disposal the same skill sets as me. And if it comes down to that, now you're forced to eat shots. If you want to have any form of, you got to fight out of my pressure, instead of just evading it outright. That's what he did to Callum Smith. That's what he's done against every other opponent. And if it bodes true that Bivol doesn't have the power to get Beterbiev respect, which I think is going to be true, now we can see that the power difference, again, like I said, is going to be the biggest factor in the outcome of this fight. Because then it will make it so that Bivol's abilities are not going to be able to be used in their fullest capacity, because they will be ripped away from him by Beterbiev. He'll let some shots land. He'll let you open up. He will eat shots. And he'll be as defensively sound as possible, but he'll eat shots when he needs to. He'll eat punches when he needs to, and force you into a situation where now you got to fight out of my pressure. And it'll strip away Bivol's skill set to be able to utilize the whole thing, to be able to utilize footwork, to be able to utilize his jab to the fullest of its ability, to be able to have the ability to use off angles and different looks to confuse and score on his opponent. Make it so that Bivol now only has the same tools that Beterbiev has. And when it comes down to that, now, what will Bivol be able to do? With somebody that powerful and that determined, when you get put in that type of rock in a hard place, if you can't fight out, we could see a situation where now Bivol gets bloodied, beat up, and KO'd. It's a real possibility.